Welcome to the Pursuit of Truth. So this one might be slightly different than normal. Also, I'm using the Blue Yeti mic. If the sound sounds any better, do tell me. So this was something that happened today. I was using a work counselling thing because they've been talking about returning back to work, and it's got me quite anxious about doing that. That's why I thought, let me share this, because I'm sure I'm not the only person who's going through this. I think it's actually more concerning for me personally than the vaccination. But yeah, they wanted, because they got an online thing. I don't like using phones and things. I know that you hear me doing these podcasts, you think I could talk for Britain, but it's just because I'm talking to myself, basically, isn't it? But if it was another person across the room, a stranger, I would seize up. That's just the way not the way I was brought up, but part of the failings that happen and when I was brought up, and things that happened. Everyone's different, isn't it? Some people are very confident, some are not. Some, look at comedians, they can go on the stage and be really confident and then live lonely lives. Crying their eyes out. So this is just me, and so I wanted help, I guess. So I went to this thing, and it had an online thing, and went on it, and then they were saying, you have to make a phone call to do the initial setup so we can see blah blah blah. And it's just that kind of old way of thinking, There's no reason why a counsellor can't get on the keyboard and do all that on a keys rather than doing it with a voice, It's just old-fashioned. That's the way it's always been, so we're going to keep it like that. And I think that's also the part of the problem with, the other things that I talk about on this, to do with human suffering. The slowness to change, to see that there's different ways of doing things and adopting them. Especially those people with power, it's their destiny to embrace new ways of things that can make us all live an equal life. There was a question on Facebook, like, what would you delete from? And I had a picture of the globe Earth. And I put inequality, because I was trying to think, should I put truth, lies, lies, I mean. But I was thinking inequality, that encompasses everything that needs to be removed. The idea that if we were all equal, truly equal, as the Bible says we're meant to be, as the UN, as lots of statutes of law say we are, which we're not, then we would, thank you Aidan, okay, then we would live a better life. There wouldn't be these sufferings. There wouldn't be people who would drink dirty water or all that kind of stuff. So this just reminded me of that, and that's part of the problem, this not wanting to update, not wanting to look at these new ways, just keep on doing the same thing over and over again. And what I said to them is, it's not, how are you helping people? I'm not the only person who can't talk on a phone, or who's, newly anxious and wants help. And, why shouldn't you be able to give that help through a screen, through a keyboard, when we spend most of our lives doing that these days with phones and even work? And, the reason why I'm concerned is not only my own health, because I had that thing in 2019, the end of 2019, where they said it was a lower tract infection. They gave me antibiotics, but the cough went on for 8-9 months. And when I was seeing a specialist, because they thought, could it be asthma? They found that I was slightly inflamed, but the rest of my results weren't. But now, listening to Sky News, they were saying that there was a case in Italy, that it may have started, and there may have been a case in Italy in September 2019. So it's possible that may have been what I had, and I had long COVID, because I remember when I went to do my test, the lady said, that sounds like long COVID. But when she knew the date, she said, well, it can't be, because it was before December, which is when they initially said it started in China. Who knows? But I thought it was after my vaccination, because I got it after my vaccination. And I know my wife also had this really bad cough after her vaccination, and I remember listening to her sleeping, and it was really bad. And I thought, this isn't going to go away. But luckily it did go away. Luckily she didn't have to take antibiotics, but hers went away with the extra strong Lemsip. I did try that, but it didn't work for me. Okay, Lena, thank you. So, yeah, I'm worried about that from my own health. I have 2 twins who you can hear now. Alina, who's autistic, she can't, social distance. Well, both of them would find it difficult, but it's even more difficult to try and make Alina aware of things because of her autism. And then there's my wife, who has a medical condition. She had to shield. So I don't know whether my work will take all this into consideration, because it depends on your manager, your line manager, the business, what they say, the restrictions, because you maybe need to be in work to do things. Some things can't be done and have been replaced temporarily, and whether there will be a fairness of that. So it's really made me anxious because of all these things. And then, of course, because I can't live where I work, because I couldn't afford to live where I work. So before COVID, I moved to I had to try and find a place that wasn't too far by train. It was an hour and a half in the end, to try and find where can I afford, with my dad's help, because the government schemes don't really work, because they can give you this money, but the problem is you have to be able to get a mortgage. And unless you're getting enough money, you won't be able to get any mortgage that would cover any house, especially in like the London or the close to London, areas, the boroughs. So their schemes don't really work. I found that out for myself. I'm sure I've mentioned that on the Pursuit of Truth before, the early ones. They would help you if you're middle income earners, but they're not meant to be helping them. They're meant to be helping people like me who are paid so less we even get benefit. I mean, that's why, sometimes I know I moan about the system that we live in, but if I was living in a different country, I wouldn't be living in a house. I might have been dead by now, because I would have just not been able to survive. I would have just given up. So yeah, I know I complain and I cherry pick some of the bad failings, but that's because I'm worried not just about myself, I'm worried about everyone. And that's probably not a true statement, because I still manage to sleep, isn't it? And I'm not protesting on the street every day or crying every day, because if that statement was true, that's the way I should be, because the way that people die and suffer unnecessarily in the world that we live in, maybe not here, but somewhere else. This isn't going to make me feel any better, is it? But that's the problem that I'm coming up with, and I'm sure there's other people that have these anxieties, whether it's returning to work with COVID related or whatever, or vaccinations. And so I just thought I'd share mine. You can leave your message or comment or link to your video of the same. I know it's not a normal part of Pursuit of Truth, but it does sort of encompass this idea of that, about individuals, about humanity, about different sufferings that are going on. Some are bigger than others, and I don't know how it's going to be, whether it will be fair, whether those people who haven't been able to work well, at home, and can't be trusted to work home, whether they'll be the ones that are working from home. But maybe it's also not fair for them, because I don't know their conditions and things, or their sufferings. Maybe, why should I really care about whether people are working or not? That's the thing. I sometimes fall into my own traps, because I've been programmed, schooled, whatever you want to call it, like everyone else. And I like to do a good job, but when I think about it, what am I really doing? I'm helping someone else sit on a couch somewhere who's getting all the money for all the hard work that I'm doing. Really, if I believed in, the corrupt of the system and all this, I shouldn't be working at all, should I? Because to keep working is to keep those companies, those organisations, able to have this the system that we work in, where you get someone like Bill Gates or Steve Jobs or whoever, who come up with a business idea. Yeah, they do all the hard work, they get it up and growing, and then eventually they start employing people. This idea of this pyramid that we live within, with employment of employers, as I say, of having a boss and management who manage people who don't actually do the work. Obviously managers do work, but like the boards and shareholders and people like that, this idea of them working, getting the money off the labour of many others. If it was a good thing, like say the NHS, or trying to find a cure for cancer, or helping the ailments of the world, yeah, you could say that there is a reason for doing that, but actually manufacturing different washing powders or different colour cars, what's the real impact for humanity on that? That's just playing into our old way of thinking of this system of possession. I know I'm waffling on, but I just stress about it now, thinking, how am I going to make this long train journey with people? I don't know whether I trust their personal hygiene, even the place where I work. I've seen the toilets and they were filthy, and I wouldn't have liked to have been a cleaner. And you think these are grown individuals that can't even keep a toilet clean, can't even keep it as clean as their one at home. How am I going to trust them with my health and my family's health when I can do everything that I need to do at home, and I've enjoyed it better? I've been able now. I don't know how will I, we've been blessed in a way, COVID. I mean, I know the 0.4% people who died in this country haven't, and how many percent is it in the world? Maybe it's 1% now have died in the whole world. They won't have enjoyed it, and their families, of course, but for those who haven't been affected by it, it's been great working from home, being with your family. I mean, some people probably don't like that, but I do. I love being with my wife and my children, and I don't know now, when I go out, if I have to go shopping, they start to get anxious themselves. They will say, "Where's Daddy?" and start crying. I remember one day I got out of the car to go and get something for like 2 minutes in Tesco's, and they were like hysteria. And of course, with Alina's autism, it's more difficult. So, I don't know, but the thing is, like I was saying, that's the problem when your life is given to somebody else. We're all given equal power, that no one has more power over the other. When we join the system through birth certificate, we give that away, and then we just become those enslaved people. It is truly what it is. We're not free. We are enslaved by the fact that, God, or if you don't believe in God, this planet was given to all of us, and no one really has possession over it. No one has possession over everything, because everyone dies, and so you can't truly have possession of something, because I know some people will give it to their family, like the Queen or those people like that, but we don't really own it, because you're transitory. You're not here forever. And I think I've waffled on long enough, isn't it? I thought there was something else I was going to talk about, but I don't know. So I just thought I'd share my anxieties about return to work, because I'm sure it's a big topic at the moment, with the government saying that people can return to work. I know people will have different views about that. You can share your comments or put your own links to your videos of the same subject, how it's affecting you. And bit of news on isolated humanity to end. Nearly finished. There's just a few people I'm still waiting on, giving them chance to be part of it. But I'm very close to releasing it. I don't know whether it's going to get watched. I hope it does get more watched than my normal videos, because my weather video was 84,000 views, but I'd rather one of my Pursuit of Truth, or one of my poems of about these sufferings, or this isolated humanity documentary film, whatever you want to call it, would get those kind of views, because they're the things that are more important. The things I'm saying in them are far more important than getting you to think. Whether you believe in what I'm saying or not, some of the things that I'm saying, it should be getting your mind to think different ways, to evaluate for yourself, which is what I want you to do. I don't want you to just follow me or believe me. There's no purpose in that. I want you to think for yourself whether the way we're living is right for every one of us, not just yourself. But unfortunately, those videos don't get views. Unfortunately, if I had a cat in the video doing something stupid, I'd probably get loads. But I don't want views. I want people to change. I want to use this platform to do that. That's what my poems have always been about, making people change, making people see that this isn't the only way. But unfortunately, obviously people don't really want that, because they would be listening or watching my videos, or maybe YouTube, or the algorithms aren't interested in those kind of things because they know people don't really care. Then is that the truth, that at the end of judgment, when God brings us all up and we all start crying and saying we cared about each other and we wanted to do good things and etc., is he going to believe us? Because in this day when we were alive, the only chance that we were to be able to do something good, we just watched TV or cats jumping over things and didn't try and spread these good messages. And I'm not saying it for me. I don't want. That's not what I'm saying. I wouldn't care if someone else made these same videos and then they got all the views, as long as the change happens. As long as for me and for everyone else, you can go to sleep thinking that there isn't any suffering, because there doesn't need to be. I know that seems amazing for me to say, and you think, oh no, he's just talking rubbish, he's talking utopian. No, we have the resources, we have the intelligence, we have the people to be able to replicate a good system for every single one of us. There's enough food that no one needs to starve. No one needs to drink dirty water that animals pee in, like you see on the videos. No one needs to eat out of rubbish, like if you see one of my Pursuit of the Truths that I usually put on the end. No one has to live like that. No one has to live on wars over bits of land that no one will really own, and those people that are fighting for it sitting in bunkers and we're following like sheep. None of this needs to happen. We all could be living equally and enjoying our life, not having to manufacture things just for competition and for money. We could live being able to benefit each other, do things that we enjoy, having the time that God or whoever has given us for this one chance. Take care, take it easy, God bless, and peace.